Welcome to the Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva, and today we're going to get some insight on football, all about football and going to college for football. My guest today is Mason Robinson, and he's a former NFL player. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Mason. So usually I start my guests where they went to college. So where'd you go to college?
I went to school at Rutgers University.
Okay, great. So let's go back in time and go into high school. Where did you go to high school, and when did you start thinking, hey, I can actually go and play football at the college level?
I went to high school at Somerville High School, small town. But, I didn't really think so much of Division I football when I first got into high school. I didn't know what that meant. I knew I always wanted to play football in college, but I didn't know what the different divisions meant.
Yeah.
But after my sophomore season, Coach Shiano came to my high school and he offered me a scholarship to come play at Rutgers. And then after that, a few other schools came and they began to offer scholarships. And then I was just like, wow, I never really thought of this. No one ever explained what a scholarship was to me or anything, but I was completely blessed and happy to be one of the.
So it all started sophomore year into junior year. That's when it all began. Did you start getting bigger or better in football? How did that all start?
No, not to toot my own horn, but I was pretty good. As I came into high school, I was pretty good. I woke up early mornings to keep working on my craft to get even better, and I just think after my sophomore year is once I first started to get noticed by different colleges.
So were you doing well in a lot of the different games in sophomore year? Did the team do well? Is that why they started coming to see you?
Yes, the team did well. We actually were undefeated. Unfortunately, we lost in the first round of the playoffs. But I was one of the few sophomores that was fortunate enough to get in the game and play mainly on a defensive side. But I don't know. It's, on offense, I was a third-string running back. And what was funny is I was actually getting recruited to play running back, and I was a third-stringer that hardly got in and just made the most of it when I did get in. So
yeah, great. So now, junior year of high school, now you have a lot of these different schools. Is it many schools, or is it just a handful of schools?
It was a little more than a handful. I wouldn't say many. I know there's a few kids out there that had a lot more than I did, but it was a little more than a handful.
Okay. And did they all offer you scholarships?
For the most part, a few of them offered scholarships, and then there was a lot that kept me in the loop and was taking me in circles with the whole process.
Okay. So is it a difficult process to weed out by the time you get to a senior year?
It is a little difficult. It's difficult from different aspects. There's some kids where it's difficult for them to get scholarships, just to get a scholarship plainly, just outright. I know there's a lot of kids that do want to play at the college level, and just to get that first scholarship is very difficult. Even no matter how good you are, it's just really difficult. And then for a kid that has a lot of schools offering them scholarships, it's difficult because you don't necessarily know which one you may want to choose. And you may be waiting on that certain scholarship to come in. So during that process, you don't want to wait too long, but you do want to find the right fit for you as well. So
how do you pick out of all those schools? How did you end up picking Rutgers?
Well, I took an official visit to Michigan State, and I was set to take an official visit to Boston College. However, at the time, the coach from Michigan State just got fired, and the coach from Boston College just took the job down at NC State. So, Rutgers just kind of, I'm not saying that they were a backup choice, but I wanted to see what Boston College also had to offer. But Rutgers was they were a really good school, up and coming school. They just had the big season, beating Louisville and everything. So
is it where you were? The school was close to home. Is that why you picked that particular school, or is it just that did you go visit those other schools?
Well, it wasn't because it was close to home. I kind of wanted to stay close, but not too close. Rutgers was a little too close. However, when I went there, it was just a family environment. I know a lot of teams, they break it down on family and they say family, but from the players, from Ray Rice to Brian Leonard and all those guys, while I was going on my visit, they were just great guys. And it truly was like a family. They brought me along. It just felt like home.
Yeah, great. So now you're at Rutgers, and how does it all start? How does football start at Rutgers? Do you get there real early, like July, or is it February of your senior year? When does football actually start getting going at Rutgers?
Football got going in June. So I graduated high school, I think it was June 21st or something like that. And then I was reporting in class by June 23rd at Rutgers. And we were doing summer workouts, got to camp, and started off playing running back in Ray Rice. So wasn't extremely, it wasn't too much pressure on me to come in and be a star right away. Because you already had a star there. And
Sure. So Ray Rice was what, sophomore, junior?
He was a junior when I got there.
Okay, so he was already ahead of you by 2 years.
Right.
Now they talk about redshirting and things like that. What is that type of environment? Do you get redshirted? Did you get redshirted?
I did get redshirted. I did not get redshirted immediately. I got redshirted the 2 years that I tore my ACLs. I actually used those as one as a red shirt, one as a medical red shirt. And what I would say to a lot of kids that want to go in and start right away, those are great aspirations to have. Those are great goals to have. However, there's a lot of guys that go in and redshirt. Just because you get redshirted, don't be discouraged, because you have another year to grow and to progress and to learn more about the game before you just get thrown out into a fire as a young freshman. So being redshirt isn't the end of the world. It's actually, a lot of players actually come out better as a redshirt athlete.
And to the public out there, what does redshirted mean?
Redshirt just means you don't play in the games, really. You practice with the team, you prepare with the team, you're able to go out there. Sometimes if you have a great week of practice, coaches may allow you to dress. You may just go out in your warm-ups out to the game, but you just don't go in. So Gotcha. It's like you kind of, I don't know.
You're there, but you're not there.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. So now, when you're in college, what a lot of parents always talk about, it's all about the sport. It's not about the classes. What do you say about that?
Learn to balance, because the sport only lasts for so long. You know, if if you live to see 100, you know, and you play a sport in high school, say most kids get done around 21, 22. And then the average career is 3 years, 3 or 4 years. So you're looking at, you're done by 25 from a sport. And now you have 75 years left of life. Now what are you going to do? You know what I mean? So don't just go in there. I would tell them, find a way to balance it. A lot of kids go in there and it's just football. It's just football. But yes, football can only take you so far. Your athletics, your mind, can take you, your intellect can take you so much farther than the game could ever take you.
Yeah, good. Well, so now you're there, you're playing. What is in your mind to start thinking, hey, I actually might be able to go to the NFL on this?
Well, it was a dream of mine since I was a kid. And when I was in college, after the second time I tore my ACL, and I was just about to be a starter, and then that same practice, once I got moved to become a starter, I tore my ACL. Then the next year, I didn't even get a shot to really even compete for that position. So my last year, I was a fourth-string safety, and I was a punt returner and got in on special teams. And no one really gave me a shot, really. It was, I was just so determined. This was my goal, this is my dream, and I wasn't going to let anybody take it away from me because of a scar on my knee. And so after practice, every day after practice, I would stay after for about 20 minutes to a half an hour, just working on the craft, working on getting better. I would bring backup punters, so I wouldn't wear out the starting punter's leg. I would bring him after practice and just punt me the ball, just punt the ball. And how I dictated whether I was done or not was I had to get 5 perfect catches in a row. If it caught off to the side or if I caught it the incorrect way, I know what's the right way and what's not. But if I caught it incorrectly, then we had to start over from the beginning. And you think it's only 5, but that 5, it added up, and you wound up catching about 50 punts.
Wow.
And And it's not even that I was dropping the punts. I didn't drop one at all. It was just they weren't perfect to me. So we got to keep going. And then after that, say if in a game I may get in on special teams, but I wasn't getting in on defense, and that ate at me. So what I would do after a game, no matter how late we got back from a road trip or whatever, I would wake up 3 o'clock in the morning. I would get dressed, and by 4 o'clock, at least 3:30, 4 o'clock, I was out the door, headed to this place where I used to train in high school and when I was in middle school. And a lot of people from around my way, they know it as the Hill. And I would go there at 4 o'clock in the morning by myself in the dark, just sprinting, uphill, downhill. And then I would go into meetings, go into the weight room, do everything as if nothing happened that day. And I was so determined to get there. There was not going to be anything in this world that was going to stop me. So.
Wow. Well, now in college, so football, is it an all-around sport? What do you do from June all the way until the following June? Give us a sense of what the progression is. You know, do you go through the season in the fall, of course?
Right.
But what happens after that? What are you doing from June until the following June?
Well, to start in June, well, I'll start in January. I'll start after the season, so like a postseason.
Okay.
So after the season, you may, based on if you make it to a bowl game or not, you may get a little bit of a break before you have to come back. So you might get a week, 2 weeks off. Then when you come back, you're locked, loaded, and going. You're in the weight room lifting. There's no setbacks. There's no, oh, coach, can we ease into it? No, you're expected to work out on your own when you're on break. And then from there, you go into winter conditioning. And winter conditioning is like, I'm not gonna say it's a hell week, but it separates the men and the boys in winter conditioning if you're not prepared for it. Where you wake up, you're up at 4 really, and you got to get there and you're working. The whistle blows at 5:30 in the morning, and you're just going. It's nonstop chaos. Everything is chaotic, and you're just in one mess up, and you affect the entire group. Wow. So you don't want to be the one to mess everybody up. So you guys grind together, you work together. Some guys throwing up, guys cramping up, and it's just like, come on, let's go. We got to keep going. We got to keep pushing. And after winter conditioning, you're always lifting throughout that time. But then you go into spring ball, and now spring ball, this is where obviously the seniors aren't there anymore. You got guys that's battling for positions, and now you have to stay on your A game. You have about.
And how many games are in spring ball?
You just have one game. There's scrimmages. You scrimmage each other because in college there's no scrimmages against other teams. You can only scrimmage yourself. Gotcha. And then there's a spring game, which is not really for the players, but it's more so for the fans. Gotcha. It's a show for the fans. And during that time of grinding, you're lifting one day, the next day you're practicing. Next day you're lifting, conditioning, practicing, lifting. And on that schedule, Saturdays, usually scrimmage, unless a coach picks another day. And then after spring ball, you may get the month of May, you finish up your finals. So our spring ball usually got done April 20, and April 21st to April 28th, around that time. Mm-hmm. And then in May, through May 15th, you'll finish up your finals. Then on June 1st, you're back at it. You're working out as if you were back on the winter schedule. But now you're really grinding, you're really conditioning, getting ready for the season, lifting with your guys, but you're expected, like I told you, that time that you're off, you're expected to work out and be in shape when you come in. No, we got to work our way back up. No, you got to be in shape. You still got to pass a 110 test and everything. And then once the season comes, so that time in August, and now training camp is probably, if you're not prepared for training camp, if your mindset isn't the right way, your training camp could be the hardest time of your life. I'm talking about that's the time when you get guys that want to go home, they want to quit, guys that literally cry, they just want to give up. You question yourself. You question, is football really for me? Is this really what I want to do in training camp? And it's really, what I would tell all kids and all parents is stay encouraged. Make sure your mindset's the right way, because that's just the time that they just want to see who they can trust to put in the game. They want to see who's going to break and who's going to prosper in these situations, who can handle it. And all you have to do, like I tell every athlete that I train, is that say to yourself, with everything that I've gone through in my life and everything that I've done and all the hard work that I put into it, man, I'm built for this. You know, I'm built for this moment. I'm built for this opportunity. So I'm not going to let, because a little ache and pain, hold me back from the true dream or the true goal that I want. Yeah. So, and then once August is done, now it's go time in the season, and you're pretty much in the season you're going pretty much every day except for like Monday. So you play the game on Saturday, you come back in, you train, you practice on Sunday. Sunday's like a full day, you do study hall and everything. And then on Monday you have the day off to do what you want to do. And usually guys are in watching film or getting caught up in schoolwork. And it's a full-time job, man. It's from tip to tip. College athletes, especially Division I athletes, it's a lot.
So now you graduate.
Right.
And now you're looking at the NFL. I'm assuming you went in as a free agent to the NFL?
Yes.
Okay, so you didn't get drafted or anything. It's just walking on and trying to become a player.
Absolutely.
So what team and how did you get there?
Well, like I told you, I was a four-string safety. Nobody really gave me a shot. So with the New York Jets, I went and did like a private workout with some local guys. It was like a local workout, and did the workout. And afterwards, like Rex Ryan and the owner, they pulled me out of line and they just said, "Man, we like the way that you're leading. Make sure you stay in shape and ready just in case we give you a call." And so I made sure I stayed in shape. And then when rookie minicamp came, it was after the draft. You go through the whole pro day, or if you don't get invited to the combine, you go through the pro day. Then you go to, and the draft occurs. And if you're not drafted, obviously you're a free agent. And then after that, you go to rookie minicamp. And I got invited to do rookie minicamp with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the first week, and then the next week I got invited to the rookie minicamp with the New York Jets. And both went well. Neither team signed me right away. And then afterwards, the Jets called me back to do another mini camp with the veterans. So did the mini camp with them, and then after that, they still didn't sign me. And then the Buccaneers called me to come do. They called me for training camp before the season started. And I stayed. I made it to the final cuts. However, unfortunately, I got cut at the end. Would like to say that the training camp was fun. It was exciting. Did a lot. I thought I was gonna make the team, at least make practice squad. And but yeah,
that's it.
It was a fun. Yeah, that was it at the time. However, I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over for me. I still believe.
So what are you doing today? What's the passion that you got going on today?
Well, the passion I have, I always wanted to do sports, and I always wanted to work with kids. So when I was growing up, I never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing now, but like I started a training company where I can do fitness training with clients that want to lose weight and tone up their bodies, or whatever advice they may need, or workouts that help them and to live a healthier life, to build on their life. And also I do athletic training. I do athletic training, speed and agility. Wow. So like when I was in high school, I won the meet of champions from New Jersey in the 100-meter dash. I ran a 10.51, and then at pro day for when I was getting ready for the NFL in front of scouts, I ran a 4.35. Wow. And what a lot of people don't know, which this is like my first time really sharing it, is that I did a tryout with the Philadelphia Soul, and I went there just whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, and I just wanted to perform well. And actually, they clocked me at a 4.33 and then at a 4.27. Wow. So it's one of the fastest 40s I've ran there. But I want to instill that into the kids that I train, into the athletes that I train. I want them to realize, man, you can come from a third string running back and still get an opportunity to play in college. You can come a four-string safety, and as long as you are determined and as long as you have the passion for it and you want to work hard and you dedicate yourself, you will go and outshine those guys that may have the press clippings. You will get an opportunity. You can get the opportunity to play in the NFL. So it's more so I want to work with them and get them faster, get them better at their sport. But I also want to help them with their mindset and help them believe in themselves. No matter what adversity that people go through, whether it's a fitness client or athletic client, no matter what adversity you go through in this world, it's life. Make the most of it. Every pitch isn't going to be a perfect pitch. Sometimes you get a curveball. You got to learn how to roll with the pitch. So.
That's it. So now, in high school, What are some of the coaches telling you of how you have to get to the college level? Do they talk about academics being there? Do they talk about certain speeds that you need to get to the college level? What are some of the things that these high school kids have to know to go on and play college ball, football at the college level?
Definitely focus on your grades. Definitely. One thing I would tell kids is that when you have a goal, when you have a dream, there's no reason for anybody to have to give you rules. So if you know that you can't play if you're academically ineligible, then make sure you're eligible. Make sure that you have the grades. Make sure you stay on top of those grades. So definitely have the grades, because a lot of coaches look at your grades. If you can't obtain a high GPA, or not even a high, but you can't maintain a good GPA, if you can't do well on your testing, then is that the headaches that they want to put up with? And also, as far as the athletic side, it's not always the fastest guy that wins out. It's not always the biggest guy that wins out. But sometimes they want to see how you lead. How they want to see as a player, and this is after playing and starting to sit down and talk to these guys now, and listening in, is they want to see how you respond when things aren't going your way in the game. So I coach, I train baseball players and softball players as well. If you strike out twice, how do you respond? Does that affect the rest of your game? In football, if you drop a ball, if you fumble a ball, they're not looking to say, oh no, you're cut, you're done, or we're crossing off our list. They want to see how you respond to that. So
those are some of the things that they want to look at.
Absolutely.
So when a kid is doing a film or a clip to send to these coaches, what do you advise them on? What type of clips should they put in there?
Don't put any clips in there to waste time. Don't just to fill up your tape. Don't do that, because while I was in that mode from going to college to NFL, I went back to Rutgers and I was helping them with like the recruiting aspect of things, and just looking at what those guys look for. They have thousands and thousands of kids to look at, and if your video is 10 minutes long, imagine watching 10 minutes of 1,000 kids. Nobody has time for that. So they watch the first 2 or 3 plays of your highlight tape, and if those plays don't pop out to them, they're going to the next person. Mm-hmm. So like, you make sure those first 3 plays make some, pops out. If you're a 1-minute highlight tape could be more effective than a 5-minute highlight tape. And just based off of what they see, and what a lot of coaches also look for, say if you play receiver, they're going to go and watch your running back's highlight tape. Not because they want to recruit him, but they want to see how you are when you're not getting the ball. So there's different ways. Like, a lot of scouts are crafty like that. They really want to see the type of play. They're going to do their homework on you before they put money in your hand. Before they invest in you, they're going to do their homework on you.
Yeah, so it's a lot of different aspects to the game than just studying and being fast in
Right.
in the sport. You have to have a lot of other things like the leadership that, like you're saying.
Right. There's a lot of kids out there that's fast, and now you may be the fastest out of them all, but now they want to separate you. So they have to separate you somehow, some way. Like, what's going to make them pick you over him?
Yeah, because I guess what a lot of people don't understand is that there's thousands of kids trying to go as football players at the college level.
Absolutely.
So you're just trying to get one step ahead of somebody else.
Absolutely. Now, the business that I did start with the personal training is called Shock the World, and I got that from Rutgers, where nobody really gave us a chance, and we never won a conference title. And that year, we actually went out and we did win the Big East championship that season. But the whole Shock the World thing, how that evolves past even Rutgers to the kids, is everyone throws out those numbers to you. Everyone, 1 out of 1,000 kids makes it, 1 out of 10,000 kids, 1 out of whatever number they want to give you. Every year in high school, there's over thousands of high schools, there's over 1,000 seniors, whatever numbers they give you, all that nonsense that they give you. And I would tell them, like, yeah, those numbers are true, but why can't you be that one?
Sure.
You'll be that one. As long as you work at it, you could be that one too. Don't let anybody with their negativity or what happened in their life dictates what happens in yours. So.
Sure. Good. Well, we're coming to the end of our show. So usually what I ask my guests is, what do you want to give to the parents out there that their sons are playing football in high school, they want to go on to college and play at the college level? What advice do you want to give those kids?
Make sure they're prepared mentally. You can be the biggest player, you can be the fastest player, but if it's not in here in between the temples, then that kid is going to struggle. Make sure they know that it's bigger than football, that life is bigger than football, and also make sure that they know that stay encouraged through the process. Constantly learn, be a sponge, be a student to the game. Don't go into college like where a lot of kids make mistakes is they go into college looking to be buddy with everyone, looking to be friends, looking to be the popular person. Don't worry about being a popular person. You will make plays. People want to flock to you and be around you when you're making plays. You know, you'll make all those friends. You know, Steph Curry, for instance, Adrian Peterson, any name that you want to throw out, those guys don't have to worry about making friends. Everybody wants to be around them, you know. So Tom Brady, he doesn't have to worry about making friends, you know, but be true to yourself and make sure that the parents are pushing them to every day you're working at that craft. Every day you're striving to be better and better than the yesterday you. And another thing that I want to tell players and parents and anyone out there that can use this, they don't have to use it if they don't want to, but they can use it, is when you go into college, for those players that, I want to compete for a spot, or like you may be a starter in college, or you may be a starter somewhere, and now the coach done recruited a kid behind you that's supposed to be really good, or the kids that's up there supposed to be really good that you have to compete with. And what I would tell that person is, you can't control what they do. You can only control what you do. So from that point, you set a standard for yourself, and you set that standard so high that no matter what they do, they can't reach that standard. And if they do reach that standard, then they're going to be the greatest player ever to exist, because that standard is so high, you push yourself so hard. It's all in the mindset. Like, for instance, I train a group of girls. And yesterday, actually, I had to get on one of the girls because she said, this girl's too fast. I can't beat her. She's going to catch me. And I told her, like, I let her in on my mindset. And it's like, everyone knows that Usain Bolt is the fastest human in the world, and that he has the world record and everything like that. And I always train that if Usain Bolt, if me and Usain Bolt race, I'm not scared of you. I know what I can do, but you got to show up on that day. You don't know what type of day he's gonna have. You don't know what type of day I'm gonna have. And if Usain Bolt's gonna beat me, then he's gonna have to break the world record to beat me on that day. So.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And you've been watching The Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva. Until next time.